two. It stays here with Indiana. Clark, a deep one. You bet! A Brooklyn logo bomb from Caitlin Clark.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our deep dives into the world of sports, culture, and everything in between. Today, we're diving into a topic that's got the basketball world buzzing, the so-called hate agenda against Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever's superstar guard, after she was voted the 9th best guard by her WNBA peers for the 2025 All-Star game. This ranking has sparked outrage, debates, and some wild reactions across social media, and we're going to unpack it all, piece by piece. Is this really a hate agenda, or is there more to the story? Let's get into it. First, let's set the stage. Caitlin Clark, the record-breaking, game-changing guard for the Indiana Fever, has been a lightning rod for attention since she entered the WNBA.
Chanted defense by the Sparks fans. 6 on the shot clock. Clark, a deep three!
She smashed records, brought unprecedented popularity to the league, and let's be real, changed the game. For the 2025 WNBA All-Star game, Clark was a fan favorite, pulling in a jaw-dropping 1,293,526 fan votes, the most of any player in WNBA history. That's right, she led the entire league in fan voting, earning her a spot as one of the 2 team captains alongside Minnesota Lynx forward Napheesa Collier. But here's where things get spicy. The WNBA All-Star selection process is based on a weighted system: 50% fan votes, 25% media votes, and 25% player votes. Clark dominated the fan vote, #1 among guards and overall. The media? They ranked her 3rd among guards, which is still pretty solid. But the players? Oh, they had a different opinion. They ranked Caitlin Clark 9th among guards in the league. 9th. Let that sink in. The same player who's averaging 18.2 points, 8.9 assists, and 5.0 rebounds per game, despite missing some games due to injury, was placed behind 8 other guards by her peers. This discrepancy has fans, analysts, and even some big names in sports media crying foul. ESPN's legendary broadcaster, Dick Vitale, took to X, saying, "Absolutely pure jealousy that WNBA players voted Caitlin Clark the 9th best guard. Someday they will realize what she has done for all of the players in the WNBA." Strong words, right? And he's not alone. Sports analyst Jason Whitlock, former NFL reporter Michelle Tafoya, and countless fans have echoed this sentiment, pointing to jealousy, pettiness, or even deeper agendas as the reason behind Clark's low ranking. But before we jump on the hate train, let's break it down and look at both sides. Let's start with why so many people are calling this a hate agenda. Caitlin Clark's impact on the WNBA is undeniable. She's brought record-breaking fan attendance, skyrocketing TV ratings, and even helped secure perks like chartered flights and increased salaries for players across the league. Her games sell out arenas, and her jersey is one of the top sellers. Fans love her. The numbers don't lie. 1.3 million votes don't just happen by accident. She's a cultural phenomenon, often credited with bringing a new wave of attention to women's basketball. So when her peers rank her 9th among guards, behind players like Natasha Cloud, who averages half her points per game, it raises eyebrows. Critics argue this isn't just about stats or performance, it's personal. They point to moments on the court where Clark has faced aggressive defense, like being face-guarded full court by LA Sparks star Kelsey Plum during last year's All-Star weekend, or getting knocked to the ground in a physical game against the Connecticut Sun. These incidents, combined with the voting results, fuel the narrative that some WNBA players are resentful of Clark's spotlight. Social media has been ablaze with reactions. One X post summed it up. The players did not rank Caitlin Clark as the 9th best guard. There is no ranking on the ballots. You select any 4 guards. Enough players in the WNBA had to keep her off player ballots to drop her all the way to number 9. They iced her out. That's a bold claim, suggesting players deliberately snubbed her. Another post called it jealousy, envy, and racism, pointing to the fact that Clark, a white player in a predominantly black league, might be facing bias due to her race or the media attention she's received. This idea isn't new. Since her rookie season, there's been chatter about Clark being treated differently, not just by opponents, but by the media and even some teammates. Her rapid rise to fame, some argue, has overshadowed veteran players, especially black stars, who didn't get the same hype when they were dominating. As one source put it, Caitlin Clark has attracted a new wave of support for WNBA players, but some question why veteran black WNBA stars didn't get the same boost. This tension could explain why players might not view her as highly as fans do. Is it jealousy, resentment, or something else entirely? Now, let's pump the brakes and look at the other side. Not everyone agrees that this is a hate agenda. Some argue that the 9th place ranking is less about personal animosity and more about basketball reasons, or at least reasonable factors. One USA Today article pushed back hard against the jealousy narrative, stating there are plenty of reasons Caitlin Clark was ranked so low by her fellow WNBA players, and jealousy isn't one of them. They pointed to Clark's limited games this season, only 9 due to a groin injury, her turnovers, her shooting struggles, and her defensive weaknesses as possible reasons players might not rank her higher. Think about it. Clark's stats are impressive, but she's not perfect. Her 18.2 points per game are strong, but she's had a shooting slump, and her turnovers have been a point of criticism. Defensively, she's still developing, often targeted by opponents who see her as a weak link. The same article noted that players might have prioritized their own teammates or veterans who've been consistent for years. For example, Atlanta Dream's Alicia Gray, who topped the player vote, and New York Liberty's Sabrina Ionescu are established stars with strong resumes. Rookie Paige Beckers, who ranked 4th among players, has also been a standout despite missing games herself. Then there's the voting process itself. Players don't rank guards from 1 to 10, they select their top 4. If enough players left Clark off their ballots, her cumulative score would drop, landing her at 9th. It's possible some didn't vote at all, or didn't take the process seriously, as one source suggested. It is unknown how many players even cast their ballots, or how seriously those who did took the matter. This could mean the 9th place ranking isn't a deliberate snub, but a result of inconsistent voting. And let's not ignore the context of Clark's season. Injuries have limited her playing time, which might make players hesitant to rank her above others who've played more games. Plus, her teammate Kelsey Mitchell outranked her in player votes, coming in 6th. Mitchell's averaging similar points, 18.2 per game, but with fewer assists and rebounds. Could players simply be recognizing Mitchell's consistency or different play style? It's worth considering. Regardless of the reasons, Clark's fans are not having it. At a recent game against the Minnesota Lynx in the WNBA Commissioner's Cup Final, one fan held up a sign that went viral. 9th in your rankings, but 1st in your nightmares. Talk about a mic drop. That sign perfectly captured the sentiment among Clark's supporters. They see her as a dominant force who's living rent-free in her opponents' heads. Social media exploded with memes and posts, with one fan tweeting, "When the Indiana Fever fans say it's Indy versus the world, they really mean it." Another called the ranking further proof that WNBA players are consumed by jealousy and hate. This fan outrage isn't just about the votes, it's about a broader feeling that Clark is being unfairly targeted. From physical play on the court to snarky comments off it, her supporters believe she's facing an uphill battle in a league that hasn't fully embraced her. And it's not just Clark, her teammate Aaliyah Boston faced a similar gap, ranking 2nd in fan voting for forwards, but 9th among players. This has led some to wonder if the Fever as a whole are being undervalued by their peers. Let's zoom out for a second. Whether you buy the hate agenda or not, one thing is clear: Caitlin Clark is a game changer. Her 1.3 million fan votes aren't just a number, they're a testament to her ability to draw eyes to the WNBA. She's been credited with boosting TV ratings, selling out arenas, and even influencing league-wide improvements like chartered flights. As Dick Vitale put it, someday they will realize what she has done for all of the players in the WNBA. Her presence has brought new fans, new money, and new opportunities to a league that's long deserved more attention. But this also creates a paradox. If Clark's popularity is lifting the entire league, why don't her peers see her as a top-tier guard? Is it because her impact off the court overshadows her on-court performance? Or is it because some players feel she's getting too much credit for a league that was already growing? Nafisa Collier, the other All-Star captain, recently praised Clark, saying, "Caitlin has a lot of Angelino California lot of gravity. She's an amazing player." But that praise didn't translate to votes, highlighting the disconnect. There's also the racial and cultural angle that some fans and commentators have raised. Clark's meteoric rise as a white player in a predominantly black league has sparked discussions about media bias and representation. Some argue that the hype around Clark has unfairly overshadowed veteran black players who've been grinding for years. Could this perception influence player voting? It's a tough question, and one that requires nuance. Accusations of racism or jealousy, like those in some ex-posts, are serious but hard to prove without concrete evidence. What's clear is that Clark's presence has sparked complex conversations about race, fame, and merit in the WNBA. Let's talk stats for a minute. Clark's averaging 18.2 points, 8.9 assists, and 5.0 rebounds per game in her 9 games this season. Only Phoenix Mercury's Alyssa Thomas has more assists per game, 9.3, and Clark's numbers are elite despite her limited playtime. Compare that to someone like Natasha Cloud, ranked 4th by players, who averages half Clark's points. Statistically, Clark's case for being a top guard is strong. So why the 9th place ranking? Is it her turnovers, her defense, or something less tangible, like locker room dynamics or media fatigue? Opponents clearly respect her on the court. She's often double or triple teamed, with defenses built around stopping her. As one source noted, she's the central focus of the opposing defenses. That kind of attention usually screams elite player, not 9th best guard. So, the gap between her on-court impact and her peers' votes feels jarring to many. Despite the controversy, Clark's still a starter and captain for the 2025 All-Star Game, set to take place in Indianapolis next month. She'll be joined by stars like Paige Beckers, Sabrina Ionescu, Alicia Gray, Nafisa Collier, Asia Wilson, Brianna Stewart, Aaliyah Boston. Unfortunately, Clark's dealing with a groin injury and missed the Commissioner's Cup final. Her coach, Stephanie White, said it's a day-to-day thing, so her All-Star participation might depend on her recovery. But knowing Clark's competitive spirit, she's likely to push through and make a statement on the court. So where do we land on this? Is there a hate agenda against Caitlin Clark? The evidence is mixed. On one hand, her stats, fan support, and defensive attention suggest she's a top-tier guard, and the 9th place ranking feels like a snub to many. The passionate reactions from fans and analysts like Dick Vitale, Michelle Tafoya, and Jason Whitlock point to a belief that jealousy or bias, whether personal, cultural, or racial, is at play. Posts on X and viral fan signs like 9th in your rankings but 1st in your nightmares show how deeply her supporters feel she's being disrespected. On the other hand, there are legit basketball reasons. Her injuries, turnovers, and defensive struggles that could explain the ranking without resorting to hate. The voting process itself, with players picking only 4 guards, might dilute the results, especially if participation was low or inconsistent. And we can't ignore the broader context. Clark's rapid rise has stirred complex feelings in a league with a rich history of underappreciated stars. Here's my take. It's probably a bit of both. Some players might genuinely see Clark as a work-in-progress guard, especially given her limited games this season. But the gap between her fan/media support and her player ranking suggests there's more at play, whether it's jealousy, frustration with her media hype, or something deeper. What's undeniable is that Clark's impact transcends her stats. She's a generational talent who's reshaping the WNBA, and this controversy only adds fuel to her story. What do you think? Is this a hate agenda, or are players just being honest in their votes? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep this conversation going. If you enjoyed this deep dive, give the video a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more content like this. Until next time, stay passionate, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.